Hi everybody, Marvin Golden here, and today I'm talking with Qbert. He's the main protagonist in his arcade video game. He's had his own cartoon back in the 80s, and he's made several appearances in TV shows and films, and he's joining me today. So, Qbert, welcome.
Yeah,
So, Qbert, I like to start my interviews off by getting to know everything about my guests, their backstory, how they all came to be, all that stuff. So, to start this off, where did it all begin for Qbert?
since if I know we my dream is Sesiani Snani Yao Bob, so the Embil Agnish salad. Now we're at Nishan, Nick the M so stew, or both have so Nishalon, surfs in a bucket. Irishness, there's no Steve, some virus smeg, the lady, yellow sniff it now. Smeg, look, stab the stick, me, smeg, you're not say ever, me. Next, wow, sneezable speaker, feel shit. Nah, never see no sneeze, me, Bill, I give you the option, that's so de. Bill, I door. The sheriff broke me, the and I say, you and a little the snake city, and he's not in the night, give me all some.
Who came up with the concept for your arcade game?
The Mary and Lightning is not ball, but the Mary, I'll be here today, say, needed I he was. Why do I move by not man or my work for the day of the day? Heard an on, but I'll be here, so I see head, no, your voice, go say, yeah, you talkie. No, if I may grade if I pay your fist, then I'll be. Still on mistake snow. If I life it may grade if it's forward, then I'll such so not be like that area, and if such that, severe no. Boy, if the beer's drainage name I snap, he'll fast sit out the car. Severe no worm out worth, not earth the life it got so stiff it needs sword. Bill, that's your English net, that's your nose, this the last for me, stay up the life it's so good, we growth, that's not.
At what point does Jeff Lee come in to help with the development process?
Sinus faststu, med signalsökare accessory med sakna fastnäsnävihos och med snattui så äderstörrättade nånero Nikolajfed lau. Med knuffister för samna mas hils ilioxestas sökare Nikolajfed i det råda fast. Nimmer röfna i nero rofen.
Okay, before we move on, I want to know the name of this game that Jeff Lee was working on before Qbert.
Valerio Macasbury gone on your passion such name through Ewana. I the test do severe no sender death. Sir good net stance. Meg the good ass deal shin it first. So I am for that so I catch the fish as new so we are that's out that's not going to read us.
Who came up with the name Qbert?
Me am oh sana. Suicide na Starbly sa rear is here the word that was gotten. So now, my man, it's got lit out your van. Starbly, yeah, Mr. Uthop, now, the surfer on the net. Starbly, man, this has this in the surfer on the. A boy, there with the size the snow must. Eddie Murban, and that. They was so it ought more than the out of your van. Ja, nou, op nu strachten de sweet. Nero service. Megan man is den owner we waren het rampen. Net is er zelf speel dan. De smeek dat wel jas. Nou, maar niet maar dat meest. Was
And of course, everybody knows you for your famous Qbert T sound. How did that come about?
ja, de story hui. Dat er dat smeek daar ja. Ja, me Snake is so immediate. Such no time for nice sheet. Billsbury off the house. He's no fear fall. Especially there's always. There's always no nice make it out her foot. Sir my work. Stay happy. Yes. No off. No Orfano, Rederenash Mino Fidus Me, Sir Man Manaril Il, Mafa, Mir Sadeth, Sad, my work for Runa, Stir, very working in Arna, Paved Goithus, that's it. Snow, Segway, Snow, Snow, Snow. Yes, fish and my work with it. Oh, nice girl. Errors is not snaps, there was fish and I were a tightness go there, see. Very so neat, very good. He's sitting with so now, on the series. Mean of so neat of the sound of the terror. Her like this nurses, nurses, so fish, yes, miss sheets. No worries, he sets. Our stuff to you, the best.
And for those who have never played your arcade game, can you talk about the gameplay and the mechanics of it?
There's snack. This healthier near after. Yes, near sad snack. See me na om ni södersnitt. Och väl skit is bort the fitness is snitt med egen. Erlach det gråstarvis. Sprit det var is nästa. Så väl ilfmärket svöm jag med vilka slister samrysna. Även där att nerulknitt. Snöskärres då med som marsnäcka. Sörstyrker det när genset ilio sägstas. Mary and Myra Boom at Sloka Spot and that seeming at Serif Nova some serial. Madness not get much yet, Sir Lockburn is niche. Sweet see itself, I am big and the safest as the name.
At what point did you realize that you were becoming popular?
Snaff and a Sharon as doing no him Swiss no snake nut. Snaff for that out my first sword. Så stickna, flowers carronator stick så gärna where we immerse no säkert bustet så damna plus nästa stabber amara stiff jag med snäsmässigt särsta så skivvis nitsner färsona så jag med ja nu ska nu en för oss så ja och fiske så det makna när chefer kallar there's not casino stira stay in the roof. Så snart må ceremonies little keeps kinda really hot, so see the any snaniva. Smack this early pop, so me for no so me yam. Here see any snan, says the slur slucks they back, but here na. First did any snan illness, sealer this I am not a heel lady make early pop, make it back.
I want to go into your cartoon a little bit. So it was part of a series called Saturday Super K that aired on CBS back in the 80s. So for anybody who has never seen your cartoon, can you give a description of what it's about?
There's for Bruce now, you're so sniff that ceremony here I was all never smell about necessary fear, you say I said that. Make me try it was necessary, there's not them guess it. So it's smarter that now, yeah, we're not. Yes, city milk, calcium and that in over. They marry the fish or for luck, Ruth did it. If I know that, sir, snap me on the stick with nourishment. Signal a week, not all weeks, near found that every slither round. These weeks, near floor down, calcers, the rest out the daily not floor round to the week block. Last her at Z 50 and then a sales construction. Zero ceremony, sir, snap there in the air, stroke in the top. Near some said the sir that, her garf. He got. Plus, some calcers correct me where you develop our worship. No feeding yan. No for message here feeding yan. Nis never sure my customer now. That's seriously. Consider us and the name guess as only stuff yan.
I want to get into two films that you appeared in, and they are Wreck-It Ralph and Pixels. How did you get cast in both movies?
Serve and receive woman nothing is Paris mixer, correct me, great if enough jaffa. Oh, must not if I got set, so skip me the bananas, make golf number, sir, correct Selma, who's done as a fire carbonator, stir stiff syrup. As lots and me, see the any snan, the south, snazzer Paris, small thought, bro, him, snazzer. Steroids no stay Nester Snesser Skipino Surfy so Skipnet Fire they Eronate so we are.
And what did it mean for you to be featured in 2 motion films.
Nami! Slow me great here belas at serious for our babies near Immer from a mouse high risk. Yes, gonna give it must for our babies. But the reaction or the one of it that now we're very suspect now. Mission is a relevant no how is making it much. Y'all stick him is a lot nem. So skip that fire a hernet. There's Steve need.
And to wrap this up, what's next for Qbert?
And about the let's no. The no Paris fair winds, alla shots neither Steve now. Here's the silver side. Nej, särna strömförsvarsen ur threifböstrynäsnäfja. Så Israelsvindersnem, neither there, Kamaskamir neversnidnina, snäsjajurkavrieka, Ersteinem nasekva, Erstrifjamsu, na, jami greidi för större der belassan i Emeroisia, Erfälla. Skajnar förstriflabba, Syn, Zero, Nemsmanna och skiffa i nätnisahrev, och anfasa.
Okay, Qbert, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Alright, everybody, that concludes my interview with Qbert. This is Marvin Golden. Catch you on the next video.